Hello, Inklings and Ice Simps. My name is TV Skyn, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we have finally met the illustrious Lady Iceheart, whomst is pretty lady, certainly pretty, although fairly opaque about exactly what her motives are. We're probably going to find out relatively soon enough, though, because she's going to summon Shiva, and she's probably going to have some speech about how it's very important to the future of Eorzea that she gains incredible power and uses it to do violence upon civilians. Because that's kind of how it goes with villain characters in this game. Unless, of course, she turns out not to be a villain at all. We'll find out. But for now, we gotta talk to Alphinaud and wait for Minfilia to show up. Yeah, see? Alphinaud... Really? Like, you can just put a coat on, Alphinaud. Like, just, for the love of God, clearly your costumes aren't set in stone.
Antecedent, you come to us straight from the archives of Heart's Fortum. I trust your time there has proved fruitful? Would that it had. Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins according to Ishgardian faith. Yet, in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of a man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question.
Well, I mean, I could show... There's some art on the internet that explores this question in excruciating detail, like how exactly that's... Oh boy, people have put some thought into that. They have some creative answers, and if you want to research it, I can recommend you some websites, but maybe don't let Alphinaud see. He's a little young.
Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we'll find a useful answer in the archives of Heart's Fortum. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case, one wonders if it's by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not?
Well, sort of. She gave me a speech, anyway.
Huh. Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Aymeric might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that the tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it.
See, he's a very good guy who cares about his men. We're establishing this very explicitly. Yes, Lord Commander.
You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Aymeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all,
Alphinaud, you're just really good at being rude to people. Good lord.
After all, was it not by the will of Halone that your ancestors came to this land? Why they took up arms? Against the Travanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There is a quest. Believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the death of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era, and scripture tells us only so much. Would that it told us more.
So Sir Aymeric is like someone who's like, yeah, you know, the church says that dragon porn is a sin, but honestly, that's kind of up to the individual, like whether or not they think it's problematic.
That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trade at the negotiating table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. Well, remember Alphino's granddad? Remember his granddad who died, but then he was summoned as a summon, became Phoenix? Remember him? That happened to him. The sole exception being good King Mughal the 12th, myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplication of the Muggles god.
That canonically hasn't quite happened yet. Oh, okay. That happens later, but the quest showed up earlier. Oh, because the coils of Bahamut were added over time with each patch, but I was able to go through all of them. I see. So I was able to go through that out of order. Ah, okay.
Oh, Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their beliefs. Is that not placing one's faith in a higher power? If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia. They have them both in abundance.
Hey Skyen, how's the COVID-19 doing? Feeling any better? Yes, I have recovered fully. Don't you worry about that. I had COVID like at the end of December, and I recovered right around New Year. So I'm good. Don't worry.
Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the Aetheryte Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another Aetheryte somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second Aetheryte, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Sherlian may be able to assist us. I pray that you're right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Minfilia looks into our Aetheryte problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Caerthis is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Oh boy, torturing prisoners, I love that. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. Good, I knew you'd understand. Yu Haza can apprise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the Observatorium. Captain Ilbert and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in this investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work, ours is more pressing.
Oh. I didn't need to go anywhere.
There you are, Brick! Commander Levier instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the Third hail from Ul'dah, and for a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand, nary a moment ago, I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danafin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said I do not earn my coin.
Okay. Now we fly. Hey, buddy. How you doing? There's balls, my ankle's on fire. Caught my boot on a rock and something, and I twisted it as I fell. The others went on ahead through Jonathan Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. This snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. Okay. Scion, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. There was a great-scaled beast and... Yuyahase? I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. No, yeah, that's a great idea to split up. It's not like there's any dangerous monsters out here or anything. See? He's totally fine. Nothing bad has happened. Sorting blue coats. Yeah, alright.
How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest. And lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I'll need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds.
That is why, Yuyahase, you do not split the party. Anyway, hello, are you guys planning treason? I am through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling where there's blue coach, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. You are outside the gates already. Anyway, hi. Well, stay with him then if you think he'll fare any better. Now, there's no need for that. Roegadyn.
There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your lands ever thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it has drunk deep.
No, I've done nothing wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Denied all you will, we shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Yeah, we sure do love torturing people, because we're the heroes. Damn it all!
A fancy meeting you here, Brick. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither? What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Gallian spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Roegadyn and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Alphino is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead, and the work they promise, will require a very particular set of skills. Skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. Well, that is a most generous offer, Lady Roegadyn, one which I'll gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. A comforting thought. Come, Brick, let us wait inside for Captain Ilbert to return or deliver his report.
Gates. Okay. Fuck the gates. That's better. Oh, thank you for that subscription. Powder did nothing wrong. Powder did... I think I know what that's a reference to.
Captain Ilbert seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it'll bring us any closer to learning Ivy's identity, I would not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. Gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. Whee! Whee!
Ew. No, ew. That's more like it. Nope, absolutely not. I wish I could glam things like this, but oh well. I just need to goddamn pick up a magic job for him at some point, I guess.
Captain Ilbert, your report, if you will.
Aye, Commander. Firstly, regard to the heretics we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us naught that we did not already know of Shiva. We've since handed them over to Asgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We've ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes.
Go on.
You will recall the Flame we first identified being in the Ivy's employ. From him, we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a Flame stationed at Revenant's Stall. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was deep privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, though that included those originating from House Fortin. He knew the precise route the Karen would take, and he sold that information to a merchant.
I think I can guess which one.
None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics.
Well, that's one mystery solved at least, but what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask?
I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed.
You mean to say that the agent is among Raban's innermost circle, someone who's been with him since the Immortal Flames' establishment?
'Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand.
To slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion all these years?
Aye. I too was surprised, though really I should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Ul'dah's was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Oh, is it because of all of the fucking corruption in Ul'dah or something? I don't know. Both Limsa and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Ul'dah's military was made of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained a small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks.
Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company.
A good deal easier than now, aye.
The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, 'twas not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation.
So this whole conversation is for our benefit, right? Clearly Alphino already knows all of this, and clearly Ilbert already also knows all of this. So they are having this conversation for the benefit of us, the player.
Had Nail Van Dynas's ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would have never risked supplying Raban with an army. 'Tis but a wonder that they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present.
Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, as any of them could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long.
Very good. Pray continue your investigations with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. Third can join the fourth in expecting the crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is being summoned in a matter like other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies.
Understood, Commander. I'm all snotty tonight. Very annoying.
I shall send word to Sir Aymeric, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians.
It is time, Commander.
Yes, I'm aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been required. I would have you accompany me,
Brick.
As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet
That you be present for the discussion. Huh, okay.
'tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry.
Fine, Alphino, I'll be your eye candy for another meeting.
Like me, you're doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to her sanctum is found, she'll remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nofika's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together.
To Gridania, then! Thank God we can teleport, otherwise this would take like months and months of travel.
Thanks for coming, Rick. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She'll show us to the Lotus Stand.
As it always does. Hey, remember what I talked about earlier? That thing about, like, having one inconsistent piece of design makes a character design more memorable? Gauntlets stand out, like, with the bronze and the armor plating against the rest of the outfit, and that creates a really sort of memorable little outfit. Very cool.
Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Stand. Will you be joining them now?
Yep. That's why I'm here, lady.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
Like, Melwib is probably the best character design out of the leaders. And I'm not just saying that because she's hot. Shut up.
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
Well, my condolences. I'm sure he died of completely natural causes.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Okay, right, alright. So, oh my fucking god. That is a Final Fantasy as Emperor character. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my good lord. That is straight out of some goddamn Final Fantasy 2 right there. Oh, hello, Captain Shoulder Pads. Good lord. So this is like... Yes, I figured someone would ask Nibelung. I figured. Good grief. Okay. So, if you watch like classic fantasy anime, right? Like really classic sort of 90s, early 2000s fantasy anime, stuff like Slayers, for example. One of the ways that you can identify a villain almost unerringly is if they have absolutely fucking gigantic shoulder pauldrons and a big cape on them. Like it's just one of those things. That's like a character design trope that has carried over really strongly in fantasy media ever since then. And like this guy has that like in spades with the giant like ornamented and the like, and also the other thing is like good guys oftentimes will tend to have smoother armor, like some armor that's more smooth, that's more sort of flat, that's more simple. Whereas bad guys have a tendency to have armor that is elaborate, that tends to be spiky, that tends to have very sharp shapes on it. Like this is very, very basic, literally children's cartoon level character design. Like if you want someone to seem evil or dangerous, just give them spikes. Just spikes and sharp edges all over their character design, and there you go. You have a character who just naturally comes across as kind of scary. Garen versus Darius is a good example, although I'd say that Garen is the bigger fascist of the two. That's very classic. And so this guy, we've got red and black, which are like red is the color of blood, is the color of warnings, it's the color of passion, it's the color of danger. And then we've got black, which is like commonly associated like with death and like darkness and evil. So he's all red, he's black, he's got gold on to indicate like his high social status, which is also oftentimes something that's coded villainous for good reasons. And then just spikes and horns and like angular edges along the lines of everything. I was like, oh my fucking god, this is a hell of a villain design. And the white hair too. Yeah, that's a sort of a slightly problematic thing, but like the stark white hair and like those sunken in dark eyes and like the wide mouth, that's all stuff that's like sort of classically associated with villain designs. Whereas again, especially in anime aesthetics, heroes actually tend to have smaller mouths, which is one of the things. Whereas villains tend to have like more caricatured, broader faces. Yeah, like, and he spits on this. He spits on the coffin. Oh my god.
The Garlean Empire had died with him.
Yeah, no, he seems trustworthy. Like, I trust any man whose face and eyes look like that. Like, literally, his entire face is like twisted into an expression of permanent anger. Like, this is children's cartoon character design, like, essentially. Like, in terms of how broad it is, in terms of how easily readable it is. And that's something, again, like, in terms of how Final Fantasy XIV loves to call back to every single other Final Fantasy game. This is some Final Fantasy 2 as character design. Final Fantasy 2 and 3, like, especially 2, yeah, and, like, especially Final Fantasy 2 had this style of character design. Like, it wasn't so obvious on the NES, but if you look at the concept art for it, like, this is a very Final Fantasy 2-ass character design. Part of the point of the big-ass pauldrons and the cloak, by the way.
It was the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Part of the point of the big-ass pauldrons and the cloak, by the way, is to make the character appear larger than they are, right? It's partly to make the character look bigger, right? It's to inflate their size, which again makes them seem more threatening.
Indeed, Yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
And just in case you didn't get it, like just in case it wasn't obvious enough, he put on a crown that has devil horns on it.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Final Fantasy designs on many things, subtle is not one of them. That's partly true, Nerdy Pup. They can actually be quite
Given
subtle.
the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
They can be subtle. Like, Final Fantasy character designs can actually be subtle, but oftentimes, like, certainly not in the early games, and usually not with the villains.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartano dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Okay, then. So, what are we doing?
It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them.
Really? Because they seemed kind of stirred to me, but okay.
And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Laminsons, for instance. Although Admiral Melwib outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling wooden-legged cutthroats. In likewise, the Jordanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin.
I mean, that's like not 100% unfair. As he immediately recognized, fair enough.
Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Ul'dan society, Telegia, for example, but that is besides the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders whether they have cause to be or not.
This is true.
On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cardinal is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the Observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Brick. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near Adder's Nest, and he'll give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Kirthus, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy.
And I am sure that that will go off with absolutely no hitch whatsoever.
My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution.
Yep, no, we will be very subtle. Ooh. Oh, that's not half bad, actually. That's not terrible at all. Maybe not for Brick, but... okay. Oh my god. Oh. What the hell did that do to his tail? What? Why did his tail pop a boner in this outfit? What the hell? But that's an outfit you can make some goddamn anime characters in. Okay.
Listen well. The spy we've been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Eleni Ryle, Raban's second-in-command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a Oh my god, okay. She was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with a polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she's the highest-ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Raban chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The Monetarists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-rank positions. 'Twas no secret that they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians especially after the way the Holy See forsook the Alliance. Yet the Monetarists did not raise so much of a murmur of protest when Ryle was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the Monetarists? Stealthy. But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Y's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Raban attended the Council of Alliance Leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless, on some pretense. She's up to something, mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames' records for evidence of Ryle's guilt. If we can but catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks, every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely upon your eyes, Scion?
Yeah, sure. I'm good at stealth.
You have my thanks. Let us go then, and take care not to alert our quarry.
Did you hear that, everyone? We have to be stealthy and quiet, all of us.
Ryle is headed in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. With me, Scion.
Shh! Everyone be subtle!
So, Ryle has entered the Carline canopy, meeting someone perchance, or could it be she means to board an airship? Pray look for her within. If she's not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there and she may have seen something. Ephemy is her name. I shall remain here in case Ryle appears. Okay, everyone. Shh! Blend in!
Brick Ultham, such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? A social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger, and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you.
She's gone. We lost her. I don't know how she could possibly have realized that she was being followed.
Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you're sure she did not board an airship? Huh. She did not come back out, either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? The Roost! How could I forget?
Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Montoy tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great, vigor, if you take my meaning.
Perhaps another time, friend. Wait. That necklace. You're a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Britannia by the way of the West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured, we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12 for the Domans. Were it not for their unique talents, Roya would have disappeared without a trace.
La 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 la.
Our hunt leads us to the East Shroud, Scion. I suggest we follow Raya's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall await for you at Sweet Bloom Pier.
Cool.
This way, my friends.
Oh, that was Yaguri.
This way, my friends. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorne Hut. If Raya is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Garlean masters there.
An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends as Garland Ironworks have provided us with a device that disrupts these communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In so doing, we've made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Raya would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Thanalan without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. 'Tis for this reason I believe that she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The Ellison are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads.
As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts.
This is it. We need only make for Hawthorne Huts and catch Ryle in the act.
I am sure it'll definitely be that simple. Oh my god. That is so ostentatious, holy shit. Is that like a gold saucer thing with all the money that's pouring out of it? That's hilarious. It's a 25 million gil mount? Jesus.
My people report the quarry has departed over the bramble patch.
The Ivy returns to the gnarls when she came, but perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act while she meets with her Garlean masters?
My countrymen and I shall lie in wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends.
One of the weaknesses of MMO quest design, I will say, is always that, like, that so much of it is just go to place, talk to NPC, go to place, kill X number of monsters, go to place, talk to NPC. It's very sort of, it's very busy work, it's very runaround, but, you know.
Just beyond, Ryle is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer. An Imperial intermediary, no doubt.
This is it. With me. Flame Marshal Elaine Royale, you're under arrest for treason and espionage.
You were followed, you bloody fool! Damnation!
Ninjas!
Huh.
You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle. Scarcely, rather. But if you wish to fight, you're welcome to try.
What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelves Wood? When last I looked, that was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers.
Yeah, no, the fact that the guy shouted, "You were followed, you fool!" very loudly when you were discovered is definitely unsuspicious. You would feign ignorance, then. Very well. If you do think of something to say, there'll be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. Yeah, threatening the unarmed prisoner with violence, that's great.
My hero.
I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide.
Well, that was I thought there would be a fight, but oh well.
Even a warrior of Ryle's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not speak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then, the people of Ul'dah will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Brick?
Click on the quest notification and go there.
So the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray do not let me keep you. And speaking of talents, have you considered training in the art of the shinobi? You have the aptitude for it, I believe.
No, yeah, like the Shadow Warrior, that's me. Absolutely undetectable master of disguise.
Please give it some thought. Till next time, my friend.
It genuinely never ceases to be delightful to me, like how people just like show up on the weirdest mounts. Wishing so hard I could show up on a weird mount, but I'm trapped on materia. Yeah, I mean, don't worry about it. Once they open up more, like, extensive realm travel between regions and stuff, I'm sure I'll still be playing by then. Given that it's how long it's taken me just to get through Realm Reborn.
Welcome back, Prick. I understand that Elfinel had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Len Royal. I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust the authorities to uncover it.
Yeah! Yeah, trust the authorities to uncover the truth. Sure.
Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we've made progress in our effort to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum.
La 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 la.
As you may recall, Iceheart used the aetheryte in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystals she stole from the House Fortum caravan. The heretics believe they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint, but if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely the result would be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped, and stop them we shall. But first, we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Ethernet and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we've been unable to ascertain the position of the aetheryte into which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second aetheryte upon arrival, a reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Urianger, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution. Which is why we've called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise, a colleague of ours who's currently en route to Revenant's Toll from Charlian. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you're here, perhaps we can welcome her together. I'm certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way to the northern gates and await her coming.
A gentleman doesn't await a coming, he causes it. Ah, there. Wait, no, hang on. Is that an Afghan hound? Is that a goddamn Afghan hound mount? Okay, that's... I expected stuff like corgis, but an Afghan hound, that is... That's... I mean, it's not something that's gonna make me crack open laughing, but that genuinely surprised me. And there's the Harambe mount, I see. And oh my fucking god. Please get off the mount, I need to see this. Holy shit. Now that, my friends... Now that is a motherfucking fit if I have ever seen one. Holy crap. Like, girl? God damn. That's a fucking statement piece. That is a fucking statement piece right there. Oh. Of course, like 15 people have that mount. Of course they do. Fancy carriage. Oh.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and to thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moenbryda is an accomplished Sharlayan scholar and an authority on aetherite technologies.
Did you just call her Moenbryda? Oh, that's a hell of a name.
She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's Moon's Bride, more likely in terms of the derivation.
Let us return to the Rising Stones at once, then. We have much to discuss.
Oh, wait, no, god damn it. I thought her model didn't spawn in. I wanted to look at it. Darn it.
The arrival of a newcomer has ever been cause for celebration, doubly so when she's an attractive young lady. A bard could wish for no better audience. Mayhap I shall regale her with the tale of our battle against Leviathan's thralls, how I soared over my opponent's axe and brought him low with my blades.
Thancred, control yourself, I say, being a complete fucking hypocrite.
Master Louisoire did think quite highly of her. On the other hand, so does Ida. Only those with proven expertise receive the mark, as our newcomer has. Pay no heed to her manner.
Oh, chat, you don't get to... Chat does not get to say shit to Thancred either, by the way. Chat does not... none of us get to say shit.
Steady, steady. Oh, not bad. With a little more practice, I could earn a fortune at Ruby Road Exchange. A rousing tale of a comrade's valor. Truly we're fortunate to count Lady Eugenia friend.
Are they having a squat off?
I can't wait till she gets there. We have so much to talk about.
I cannot go on much longer.
Strength, Hori! On your honor as a scion, I forbid you to surrender. I must admit, this exercise of yours never fails to amuse me. While its movements appear comical, it does appear to be having the desired effect. It's a battle of wills, a struggle for supremacy. Our fighting styles may differ, but this unyielding spirit is the same in warriors the world over.
These fucking nerds. Brackets affectionate. Okay, pardon. Oh, that. Thighs. So, we've talked about this like multiple times already, right? The thing about like having a relatively downplayed character design, but with like one or two big features that sort of make it stand out, right? So she wears a fairly standard sort of Final Fantasy outfit, right? Like she has like the standard Scion aetherite goggle things, whatever. But then there's the hair, first of all, which is pretty damn unique. I don't think I've seen anyone else with that hairstyle in the game, or maybe I just haven't been paying attention. But that one's unique. And then there's the tattoos. There's the tattoo on the on the thigh. And there's the tattoo on the neck. That both things that really give her like a standout. But something I also really do like is the construction of the face, right? Because this is not a pretty anime girl face, right? Like this is not your standard sort of cutesy moe girl blob face. Like there's a very, first of all, there's a strong nose, which comes from her being, what is it, Roegadyn, Is it Roegadyn? Yeah, Femro. Like, there's a strong construction in the face, like a strong, prominent nose. And then there's, like, those eyebrows that are sort of permanently furrowed that gives her, like, a pretty intense expression right there. And that all sort of combines to create a character that is striking, right? Because, like, she's not what you would call, like, traditionally beautiful. In that sense, like she's not like a fashion magazine airbrushed out kind of very petite and spindly. She has like a physical presence that yeah, I can see why chat was yeah, compare and contrast with Minfilia, right? Whose features are much more smooth, much more rounded, much less angular. Sort of much more generically pleasing to the eye kind of thing. Today it's available... At the time her hairstyle was unique, today it's available to all players. I would imagine it is, like, because players are going to see that hairstyle and go, I want that immediately. So no wonder there. And also, like, my girl has legs on her. Like, good lord. As someone points out in chat, like, a TikTok of her crushing a melon between her thighs. Yeah, basically.
It's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed. Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moenbryda join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits.
Did you just call her old?
And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
Oriange, appreciate what you're getting, boy.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on. Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing Aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetherite.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the Aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Yeah, they'll die immediately. They won't even know.
Though it risk the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moenbryda's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
Uriangsha just looking away like, nope, don't, not, leave me alone. Bum 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 ba ba. Right then. Well, I think this makes a pretty compelling stopping point. Seems like a natural cutoff. So, if you're watching on YouTube and you want to know what happens next, I'm afraid you're going to have to like, comment, and or subscribe. If you want to watch these episodes being recorded live, you can head on over to the Twitch channel, where if you subscribe, you'll get the full VODs of everything that happens there, including the in-between episodes hangout bits. If you want to watch the edited episodes on YouTube early, you can become a channel member over there. That'll give you early access to the thing, like, obviously. Outside of that, thank you very much for watching. Remember to be kind to one another, have solidarity with those who are worse off than yourselves, and may the tides of history wash gently over us all.